Hello guys, happy Wednesday. Okay, so today I am going to do another experiment with our basic star, or not so basic star swirl. I have my templates, I have my actual templates that we're going to make available to you guys hopefully very soon. I'm going to experiment with those. Darn it, I forgot my paper scissors. I'm going to have to use my other scissors, you guys. Hi, Phil. But I'm going to be doing a rainbow colors today. I love rainbow colors. So we're going to play with that with our swirl idea. I had to kind of take some liberties with the rainbow colors though, because there's like 6 colors in the rainbow. So I added in 2 blues and I added a pink, which will bridge the gap between the red and the purple. That might look terrible. We'll see. Hi, Rebecca. Hi, Judy. How are you guys? All right, everyone, don't come for me. I'm going to cut out one of these circles with my fabric scissors. I forgot to get my paper scissors ready. Hi, Donna. Hey, Robin with the Y. Hi, Nancy T. Hi, Jeanette. Hi, Robbie. Hi, Beverly. Hi, Cindy. Are you guys having a good week? Okay. So here's what the templates are going to look like, you guys. These are the templates that we've been talking about. This was my homemade one, remember? So here's the one that we will have. Let me back up. This is the one that we will have when we have the tutorial finished. This will be available for you guys to download and print out yourself. And what we did was we made it so that you could kind of choose how big you want your center to be. You could make it either really tiny, which gives you more room for more of the swirl layers, or you can bring it out a little bit. I think I'm going to go for the medium. Well, let me see. Let's see which one I want. I can't remember what the measurements are. I totally forgot. So we had 3/8, 5/8, and 7/8. I think I'm going to go for the middle one. So I'm just going to cut out one of these. Cut off one of these circles, I guess I should say. But if you had a larger image, then that would be really convenient because you could cut none of those circles off of it and you'd have the larger one to play with. Hi, Nancy K. Beverly said, Stacy, I meant to ask last time, is there a link to the template? Not just yet, Beverly. I'm working on it. So hopefully within a week, I'll have a full tutorial up here on YouTube for you, and there will be a link to where you can get that template. I've still been kind of working it out. This is the first rendition of the template. Hopefully this is final. I'm testing it today and we're going to see, but hopefully this is the final one and we can make that exact one available. I don't see any reason why it won't be. That sounds like famous last words. Cindy said, so far so good. Nancy T said, so far the weather's been really nice. Hope it stays that way. I hope so too, Nancy. We finally got our rain and it was like not stopping, but today it's been pretty nice all day. In fact, it's been beautiful. It's, I think, low 80s, I want to say, today, which has been nice because the shop air conditioning broke again. So I was pretty concerned. It's working again now. $500 later. And they don't know exactly what's wrong with it. So hi, Peggy. Hi, Sherry. Oh, okay. As I hit enter, you answered, Beverly said. Hey, Georgianne. Becky said, hey, y'all, watching while we are driving through Louisiana on our way to Virginia. All right. I think I'm a little bit maybe too far zoomed in. Let me fix that. I remember I zoomed in for you guys the other day to show you something close up, and I forgot to zoom back out. The close-up is nice, but it's harder to stay in the middle. Christine said, hi everyone, I'm finally able to join before the end, but I'll have to leave soon. Yeah, you're here right in the very beginning. Well, that's a bummer, you gotta go. Hi, Carol. Carol said, hello everyone, happy hump day, only 106 degrees in Arizona today, only. Staying inside and ornamenting so that I won't melt. That is a very good plan. Tammy said, hi everyone, I'm doing a not so basic star with the 2 new bundles from the shop. That's awesome. Oh, Tammy, you changed your username. Jeanette said, I'm watching while getting a pedicure. Nice. I need a pedicure. I have a hard time getting pedicures because my feet are super ticklish. So I go as little times as I possibly can get away with. You know what I will not forget today? I will not forget that on side 2, you have to go in the opposite direction. That sounded like famous last words too, didn't it? You know, I was trying to remember earlier today, what is it that we said we were going to experiment with the not so basic star? And I remember like previously I had said I want to do a rainbow one and I want to do one with the basic star in the middle with you guys. But there was one, I knew there was one I was forgetting that we just had thought of on Tuesday, or what's today? On Monday. And it just occurred to me. We were going to do a 5-segment one. I completely forgot, you guys, until just this moment. Yes, Tammy just said 5-line ball. And it literally just popped into my head. Okay, we need to do that one next. Cannot believe that I forgot that. Tammy said, I figured I'd make my name easier. Hi, Barbara. Hi, Michelle. Nancy T said, oh my, Carol, 106, that's unbelievable. And Christmas. You're right, Cynthia. We did say Christmas. You know what? I've got my template here. We're going to write this down. So there's the 5-line ball variation. The basic star center. Like 4. And I was going to do that today, actually. I was going to try to do the regular, like 4 triangles in the center of this one. And then I was like, well, I can't really do that with rainbow colors because like there's only 4 in the center. Unless I did like half triangles, but even then I feel like that might throw things off. So basic star center. So we're doing the same kind of as before, just with rainbow colors. And then a Christmas. We've got a lot of things to accomplish with this basics or not so basic star. Not so basic star. Kat said, hey, Kat, where have you been? Kat said, hello there. How is everyone? I've missed the last few pinnings. So hey, hey, hi. Where have you been, Kat? Jeanette said, I was in Phoenix when the temperature hit 119. That's insane. Hi, Mary. Hi, Anne-Marie. Anne-Marie said, hi, Stacey Ann and everyone. It's been a while. I've been watching the replays. I've been working on felt stitching a banner, a crown, and high chair decor for my grandson's first birthday. That is a very good excuse. Making sure I'm still in the center of my camera. I'm not so sure what the addition of the pink is going to do in the middle of my rainbow colors, but we'll see. Hey, Brenda. I'm going to smooth this down just a little bit before I put that piece on. Judy said, I made the scissors today. Sarah inspired me to make one for my hairdresser. That's awesome. I can't wait to tell her that. It's such a good idea, right? Kat said, I've been falling asleep and napping through pinning time, and then I wake up after pinning was done, and I'm mad at myself for napping. It sounds like you need a nap, though. You know, you got to do what you got to do. You guys, I think I'm going to be on a little bit earlier tomorrow than normal. I'm aiming for maybe about 3-ish tomorrow. We'll see. I'm going to do my best. But I'm aiming for that, and I am going to try to pre-schedule it as well so that you can sign up to get the notification when I start. And hopefully that helps. Hi, Tammy. Tammy said, hello, everyone. I usually watch every day, but I rarely comment. I'm happy that you said hi today. Tammy said, hi, other Tammy. Hi, Lorette. Just a little late. We've only been on a few minutes. Nancy T said, 119. Jeanette, I'm so glad I live on the coast. Only 4 miles from the beach. It gets hot and humid, but nothing like that. Yeah, you get that nice breeze when you're by the coast. That helps a lot even when it's hot. Hi, Christina. Christina said, hello, Stacy and Pinners. I got a notification. That's good. Those are rare, apparently. Hi, Jean. Judy said, how far down are you pinning the next layers? I'm probably pinning about 3/8 of an inch. Let me... Yeah, the top layer, the top fold of this piece is sitting 3/8 of an inch from the point of the previous triangle. Is that what you're asking? And then on my little template, I'm using the 5/8 inch size circle, which is pretty similar to the size circle that we did on the other couple of them. You are very welcome, Judy. Robbie said, I've missed the singing. Carol said, I checked my tracking number. A surprise should be coming in your mailbox. Oh, Carol. Carol, have you sent me something else? I will go check my mail right after I'm done this. I usually go out and get my mail. Sometimes they bring my mail down to the shop, depending on what it is. Like if I have something being delivered down there or when they're doing pickups. But I usually every evening go out and check my mail after everyone's left, and when I'm closing my gate, I go check my mail. So I will run right out there after this. Carol, you are too much. Melanie said, where can I get the pre-printed placement segments that you're using? That's such a good question, Melanie. So I'm still testing this one, so I don't have it available just yet, but I'm hoping it'll be available in the next, within a week is what I'm going for. As soon as I have an edited video tutorial for this pattern that I'm working on, we'll be putting that on YouTube along with a link to get this new template that we have just put together. My graphic designer just got this built for me yesterday, and this is my first test with it, but this is what we hope, exactly as you're seeing here, this is what I'm hoping will be available. And are you on my email list, Melanie? Because it'll also, we usually will notify by email when we have a new tutorial available with new templates too. So if you're on my email list, you'll get notified that way as well. Anybody who is not on my email list, there is a link below in the description to join my email list. Nancy K said, this is my me time, so unless it's very urgent or unexpected, I try to be here. That makes me so happy, Nancy. Beverly said, I've been getting the notices on my phone and in my email. Wow, nice. You're one of the lucky ones. I always think that what makes sense to me is if you're commenting and interacting a lot, that YouTube would then notify you more, you know, when with any channel. If you're interacting with a channel a lot, that YouTube would be like, they like this channel, maybe I should notify them. But it just seems like it's still not 100%. Hi, Beth. Hey, Patty. Patty said, hi, Stacy, just got here. Can you explain the template? Did you hear the explanation 1 second? Right, I think you may have typed that comment before I explained it, Patty. But if not, let me know. And I'm sure that probably we'll get that question throughout the entire live as people join. So if you didn't hear the explanation, I am definitely happy to repeat it. Carol said, yup, I will go check, Carol. Oh my gosh, I can't wait. It's like Christmas all the time with you, Carol. Kat said, Robbie, well, this one's for you. I'm not going to sing it. I'm not going to sing it. But I'm sure, Robbie, that you see Kat's comments. Okay, awesome, Melanie. So you're on, you'll find out about it that way too. But then also, you guys, when I do drop this video here on YouTube, of course, I will let you guys know while we're chit-chatting also. Tammy said, I love the look of that template. Thank you, Tammy. She did a good job. She's gotten kind of used to making these templates. So usually I can just like do a quick little drawing and tell her what measurements to go for, and she puts it together really well. Rebecca said, love it, Kat. Robbie said, sing a song. Love it. Hey, Diane. You're not too late. We're just a few minutes in. Okay, here's my orange. I know the pink's throwing it off, but I'm hoping it'll all tie together when we get to the purple at the end. It's always an experiment, you guys. Kat said, was just sing a song Karen Carpenter? I can't remember. I don't either. I don't know. Patty said, is the template for when you don't have the pre-segment foam balls? Actually, no. I'm still using a segmented ball. This is the 8-line ball. What I'm using this little template for is to help me just, what I noticed the first time that I did this when we were first experimenting, that because we're doing all the layers at the same time for each color, the lines get covered up a lot quicker. So when we got to side 2, I was having a harder time seeing like how to line things up so that everything was really even. And I ended up just kind of hand drawing this little template that I've been using for the last few experiments. And then I was like, we should do a template that you guys can print off and do the same. And then I further got to thinking about, well, you might want to have a smaller center or a larger center depending on what you're putting in the middle. So that is why these templates have a couple of different like a couple different circles. So you could like choose how far out you want to start your first layer. So, and just as an example, the first couple that I did were like this, where I had kind of like a snow globe center. Right now I'm just going for a plain white fabric in the middle because I want the focus to be on the rainbow colors. But I had a pretty center here. Here's another variation of that, which I'm going to show whenever we get a full tutorial done. And then this is the one that I did on Monday. Totally different style, but an image in the middle is really pretty. So all images that you might choose could be different, which is why I made those size of those circles varying so that you can pick which one will work best for you. Excuse me. Sorry, guys. Barbara said, yes, Karen Carpenter. Carol said, I love the template. Super helpful. Brilliant. Thank you, Carol. Robbie said, it's sure, but, oh, maybe you meant not sure, but I love the Carpenters. Tammy said, sing a song, sing out loud. Sing out strong. Yes, I'm early Sesame Street generation. Peggy said, yeah, wasn't it on Sesame Street too? I did watch Sesame Street, but I don't remember that. Kat said, thanks. I thought maybe it was, but wasn't sure I was remembering correctly. Tracy said, hey friends, thank goodness we made it to Wednesday. Yes, it's Wednesday. The week is going pretty quick. Diane said they are gorgeous. Thank you, Diane. I appreciate that. I was really thrilled. These were the first two truly experimenting because I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, and I really, really liked them. And then just putting the colors in it, the fabrics in different orders makes it look so different, which is really neat. So now I've just been kind of playing with the pattern on these lives because I want to have a lot of examples to show and some variations to show when I do a final edited tutorial video. Patty said, thank you. That now makes sense with the layering all the same time. Yeah, see how it's like you're bringing it all the way down and then the lines are almost getting covered. Tammy said, I'll test it for you. You've probably made more of these than I have already, Tammy. I should send you a copy. Robbie said, you are correct, Kat. Kat said, Peggy could have been, I don't know. I've never seen Sesame Street and neither did my kiddos. I remember seeing it when I was young. I remember it being on TV. Robbie said, I believe it was on Sesame Street. Linda said, evening, kind of late. I missed the size of the templates. There are a couple of sizes. I made it so that you can do different sizes. The first circle here comes out by 3/8 of an inch from the center point. The second circle, which is the one that I'm using here, goes out to 5/8 of an inch. And then the last outer circle goes out to 7/8 of an inch. And so what you'll be able to do is just cut it down to the one that you want to use based on how big you want your center image to be in the middle of your ornament. And you guys can play with it a little bit too. You can just take that and cut. You could cut between the lines if you wanted to do one of the, like a middle ground. If you wanted like a 1/2 inch, you can totally play with it. This will just be a good guideline to start with. Yeah, it says, you know what? I read it right, Kat. I saw it and it didn't even really register. I read it the right way. Tammy said, I remember any song I've ever sung. Especially the ones you want to forget, right? Patty said, I love the way it swirls. Me too. This is going to be a new favorite, I think, because it's really easy also. Like, you don't have to worry about actually swiveling the fabric itself. You only have to just stay right in line and just go right around in order. Let's bring out this very, very pretty blue. Oh, wait. I'm in the wrong order. Let's not bring out the pretty, pretty blue just yet. Green, then light blue, then the darker blue, and then we have purple, which is a batik. We're going to add a finger killer here at the end. Kat said, I'm not usually big on yellow, but I am loving the yellow on the ornament. I agree with you. I'm not always big on yellow either. It has to be right. It has to be right. This is a pretty strong yellow. I think that this is left over from maybe the Sunny Days kit. I'm not sure. I went down to the shop today and asked Olivia and Tammy to help me find all of our fabrics that I could use for rainbow colors. And I was trying to copy an ornament that I think it was either Kennedy or Lydia made a rainbow color version of a pattern that we haven't shown you guys yet. So I can't really say much about it, but they used these fabrics and I was like, I went down to Tammy and Olivia and I was like, do we have these fabrics? Because I think Kennedy got them from us. And they helped me find them. And it's cute. I can't wait for you guys to see this new pattern that I'm talking about. We will be showing it pretty soon. Let me back up. Peggy said, watch out, old Girl Scout here, got a song for every occasion. Rebecca said, I made a red, white, and blue one with this pattern using the basic star in the center, and I love it. Rebecca, did you put it on Facebook? I would love to see it. That's the one I haven't done yet. I haven't done the basic star center, and that needs to be one of our next experiments. That and the 5-segment one. Tammy said, it started when I was 6 months old, December 1969. My mom parked me in my bouncy seat in front of it. Hey, Shan. Hey, Maritza. Maritza said, hey, everyone, I've missed everyone. Where have you been? Cynthia said, I'm going to try this rainbow one. I have batik fabric. You're going to have to get out your thimble or something to help you push in all those pins. Whoops, it jumped on me. Patty said, love the rainbow colors, especially this month. I love rainbow colors anytime. Yes, Tammy said rubber duck yellow. It is rubber duck yellow. It's very bright. It is not just you, Becky. Becky said, is it me or has CJ not been here for a while? She popped in once or twice last week, but it was not much. She hasn't been on all of them. Nancy T said, I never watched Sesame Street. My daughter did, and my grandson. Grandson was into Blue's Clues and the big comfy chair. My son was into Blue's Clues. The original Blue's Clues. Oh, Judy, yes. And you know what? I realized after the live the other day that I had forgotten to look that up for you. I'm so sorry. It's coming out this Friday. This Friday is when Judy asked, did you find out when the June Birthstone Angel will be released? Yep, it is this coming Friday, so 2 days. Brenda said, I like that you showed all the previous ornaments today. Nice for people to see how different that they look, but made with the same pattern. Thanks, Brenda. I left them here on purpose. As we've been kind of working through this pattern together, I thought it'd be nice to reference for me and to show you guys, because I'm kind of looking at them too. So I don't forget what I'm doing. Yes, Robin said I was going to say you're making a rainbow-themed ornament. Yep, I love rainbow colors. Try to pull that down a little bit. Robbie, part of your comment I think got cut off. I'm going to see if I see the rest of it. Beth said, I did a swirl with all glittery batiks. It came out so pretty. Oh, that does sound nice. Glittery. Batiks are so pretty. I wish they weren't so difficult to push pins through because I love them. Hey, Betty. Rebecca said, I'll put it on there today. Awesome. I can't wait to see it. Make sure you tag me. Robbie said Canadian themed one, 2 different versions. Oh, you made a Canadian themed one, 2 different versions of the swirl. Red and white. I bet that's pretty. And Robbie also said making a practice Aurora, so pinning along with you. That's awesome. How many of you guys just watch? You know what? I'm going to make a little poll. Let's make a poll. I was wondering this earlier today, so I'm glad that you said that. I'm wondering if you guys pin along, if any of you guys pin along with me. Just watch and yap, or I pin along. You know what? Let's add one more option. Both. Both meaning sometimes you pin and sometimes you just watch. We'll do that. I'm curious to know if anybody actually makes these along with me. Kat said, Nancy, big comfy chair. Is that the one with the two girls? One of them's always had long pigtails, and the Pinwheel song came from their show. Kat, the big comfy chair, as far as I know, unless there's something different that I don't know about, is in Blue's Clues. You know, the big red chair that he would sit in. Tammy said, I was contemplating doing one with the basic star center, but the red and white and patriotic around, but red and white and patriotic around, need to think about it. You know what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to do a planning sheet with this, I think. I just thought of that. So that you can like draw, like maybe color it into what colors you're thinking about. And it could be, we could make a planning sheet that has like dotted lines where the center could be a basic star. And you could like either do it with different colors, or you could color all of them the same if you wanted to just do one center. Kat, did I read your comment right? The long, because I'm pretty sure I saw ling and I realized you meant long. Shan said, still have construction workers in the house and 5 dozen grad cookies to decorate. Hope everyone's having a fantastic week. Busy over there, but hey, you have cookies. I have been craving some cookies lately. Like big chocolate chip cookies. Christina said, went to an auction on Saturday and they had a box of the rat tail cord, 12 different colors on large spools. It had also had several bags of beads, and I got it all for $40. I'll have lots of hanger cord now. That's awesome. Man, I'm so jealous. I love finding like finds like that. That's amazing. Barbara said, just a hint for using batiks. I poke a lot of pins in a tea light and the wax helps them slide in. Whoa, I never heard that before. Wow, never heard that before. I will have to give that a shot. Georgianne said, Tammy, I did one like that. It turned out nice. You're welcome, Judy. I'm sorry I forgot the other day. Tammy said, yay, I need Alexandrite. Hey, Martha, happy Wednesday to you too. Robin said, Beth, please share your ornament. Tammy said, you need to try a rainbow western star. I started with red and worked out. My son took it. I will have to try that. So that's 5. Did you use 5 different colors on that one? Because that's a 5-segment ball. A 5-segment pattern. So what if you did 5? Which color did you take out? So red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple are like the main colors, right? So which color did you take? I'm rereading your comment to see if you said that and I read it wrong. You started with the red and worked out. Okay, so I did read it correctly. Lorette said, I just watch, no pinning. Martha said, this is lovely. The colors are happy. Thank you, Martha. Mary said, I'm pinning along today, but normally would watch. Beverly said, well, watch while working on or embellishing other ornaments. Oh, I should have put that as a thing, embellishing. I guess that could count as pinning. Christina said, I do both, working on a t-shirt quilt right now for a customer. Pinning doing other crafts might have been a good option to add. It looks like, though, so far with this, Just Watch and Yap has 51%. 2% said I pin along. 47% said both. Okay, that's more than I thought that will pin sometimes. So that is really awesome. Christina said, I read that one already. Donna said, watch. Tammy said, often I'm pinning a totally different pattern. That's okay. You could be totally doing a different pattern. Because you know why? How would you know really ahead of time which one I was going to do? So pinning anything is fine. in order to answer that question as a yes. Hi, Christy. Maritza said taking care of my grandsons. Robbie said I try to pin along, but it doesn't always work out. Carol said, I love watching you. I don't want to miss a thing by pinning too. Georgianne said, I'm usually cross-stitching while watching. Jean said, I also pin a different pattern at times. Shan said, I'm with you on the cookies, and I still haven't found a good chocolate chip recipe yet either. You know, this past Christmas, I think I told you guys, but I ended up finding a really good recipe that I liked, and it had brown butter, which sounds weird, but it was really good. And it was like the first time in a while that I've made cookies that weren't flat. Chocolate chip cookies, that is, that weren't flat. I was pretty happy with it, so I saved that recipe. I found it in a magazine. Robbie said, I love all the colors. Robin with the Y said, awesome, Christina. Kat said, well, no matter what, I'm singing. A pinwheel song, it looks like. Nancy T said, just looked it up. It wasn't a big comfy chair. Oh, you're right. It was the big comfy couch. You're right. Good call, Nancy. Karen said, I'm having new windows installed, so I can't use my sewing room. Uh-oh, I hope that doesn't take too long. Denise said, I try to pin along, but it's still earlier in the day here in Arizona. I always listen, but I don't comment often. Well, we're always happy when you do, Denise. Tammy said 6. Layer 1 red, 2 orange, 3 yellow, green, number 4, 5 is blue, 6 purple. Oh, I see what you're saying. You went, since it's 6 layers, you did them outward. I gotcha. That's smart. That's smart. I didn't even think of that. I was thinking of like the segments. Denise said, sometimes I take notes for later. I need your notes sometimes, I think, Denise. Because I forget. Denise said, also, I always get the notifications. Martha said, I use one of my wraparound quilting thimbles for pushing the pins in. I have an Amazon link if you'd like one. Yeah, I'm sure that a lot of us would like that. I don't know if it's going to let you post the link here, though, unfortunately. I think that people have run into problems with posting links here in the comments, which is a bummer. But you know what? You might be able to post it as a comment, not in the chat. After the live, I think you can just leave regular comments, and you may be able to put a link in there. Shan said, nice and bright. Yeah, it is. Diane said, whoops, jumped on me. Where's it at? Diane said, do you post what is needed to pin along? Not, well, in the lives, no. In the lives, I'm kind of, sometimes I'm not even sure what I'm going to be doing. All of our other videos, all of our edited tutorials have, I shouldn't say all of them, but most of them, probably like 95% of them, have a printable supply list that goes with it that you can download for free to make any of those tutorials. On the lives, I haven't been quite as good at doing that, although I should. That would be a great idea. If I was planned ahead a little bit better, I could totally do that. Planning ahead, though, that's the part that I'm not great at. Sometimes I don't know what I'm making until right before I go on. But I just mean, is anybody making their own thing while they're pinning along, like while I'm doing this, pinning along with me? Anne-Marie said, batik fabrics are made using wax to make the pattern, so maybe that's why coating the pins with the wax from the tea lights works. Would make sense, I think. I didn't know that either, Tammy. Or Anne-Marie, I'm sorry. Anne-Marie said that. Tammy said, the 1969 Betty Crocker cookbook has the best chocolate chip cookie recipe. It's that specific 1969 Betty Crocker cookbook. I mean, I'm going to have to look for it now. Oh, Jean, I missed yours. Jean said, watching has helped me want to try and catch up with my little white boxes. That is good. I'm so happy to hear that. Definitely meant to inspire. That's the whole point of doing this, hoping that people will see these and kind of like get inspired to catch up on their own, or just try it for the first time. I'm not thrilled with the white in the center, to be honest. You know, I wonder if I made it a little smaller on side 2. It would be prettier if there was something in it. Oh, you know what though? I couldn't put something in the middle. I forgot that Olivia had suggested I use the rainbow charms, and I got those out. That will make it better. I'll put some beads on here, and I'll hang a little rainbow charm from the center, and that's going to make it better. Okay, crisis averted, you guys. Okay. And speaking of little white boxes, and I know I brought this up a little while back, a couple weeks ago, I think. I want to start doing lives in the Facebook group once or twice a month too, making that month's kit with you guys who are members and who get the kits every month. That is something that I was just talking about again today with Tammy and a couple of the people in the shop, which would hopefully also inspire those of you guys who have some little white boxes built up to make those. Judy said, if you like chewy chocolate chip cookies, there's a good recipe with a box of vanilla pudding in it. Ooh, that sounds good. Anne Marie said, I really love using batik, so I'll have to try that. Thanks for the tip. Mary said, oh, the brown butter gives the chocolate chip cookies a lot more flavor, I think. Yum. I know that's making me want to go bake some like today. Christina said, I have a brown butter recipe that makes the best chocolate chip cookies. I have another that I've tweaked that I make more often, though. Both get rave reviews, though. Brown butter ones are thicker and more rich. When I made those ones, that's what they were thicker and they were rich. They were so good. I was shocked. I was a little bit nervous because I really hadn't done much with brown butter before. I was nervous just to brown the butter because I really had never done that before either. And I did burn a batch the first time. It takes there's like a 1 second moment where you better get it off the heat. You guys, there's a super loud noise. I hope that the mic isn't picking this up. What is it? Something loud is going by. I really hope that's not a lawnmower. Robbie said, now I'm getting hungry. I know, right? You guys are going to hear my stomach growling in a second. Maritza said, I really want to paint along. I just have to be prepared. I really want to make this one. I hope I will have this tutorial done for you guys soon. Although I know a lot of you have already made them. You don't even need the tutorial. You can just kind of figure out what I'm doing. But hopefully the actual tutorial will be done soon. So guess what? We go to the left on this side, you guys. I want to make sure I've got this lined up right. Okay, it looks like it is. There is some kind of lawn thing happening. It must be directly right across the street. And I really hope it's not too loud. That is a loud lawnmower. Tammy said, years before used butter, after used Crisco. 1969 used a half each. It gets the butter flavor but the Crisco fluffiness, and it works with gluten-free flour. 1969 Betty Crocker, right? Sherry said, today my cat is laying on my lap. Well, that'll make it hard to pin anything. Martha said, okay, I'll do that. Maritza said, I just found a chocolate chip cookie recipe made with cream cheese. Can't wait to make it. Recovering from a medical procedure. Best wishes for a quick recovery, Maritza. Also, cream cheese also sounds like a delicious addition. I mean, you can't really go wrong with cream cheese. Sally said, hi, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Hi, Sally. Hey, Julie. Julie said, Shan, stay-at-home chef has the best chocolate chip cookies recipe. Tammy said, if you Google 1969 Betty Crocker chocolate chips, it's out there. I'm going to have to look that one up. Diane said, that would be helpful. I'm almost always behind. I think on the scheduled, going back to what we were talking about a second ago with putting the stuff that you would need to pin along with me exactly, that might work on the pre-scheduled ones because you'd have to have time to actually get your materials together too. And you'd have to see what we were doing and making and see the list. But yeah, Diane, you're talking about the kids, making the kits in the Facebook group, I think. And yeah, I think that would be fun. It's been a while since I've done a live in the Facebook group. Robbie said, that sounds fun. Tammy said, I don't hear anything. Okay, that's good, because it's loud. Hopefully my mic is just like, I don't know, it's probably like directional or something. It's just picking up what's right here. Hopefully. Kat said the charm will be perfect in the center. Thanks, Kat. Kat said, and the bow shall be in the clouds. Oh, we're singing again. And shall... Oh, or are you're quoting scripture maybe, Kat? Is that what you're doing? Christy said not too loud at all. Judy said can't hear it. I'm so glad. That made me nervous for a second because it was like right there. Nancy said this cookie talk is killing me. Oh, I'm sorry, Nancy. Nancy said I'm diabetic and I'm not supposed to have sweets like that. I'm so sorry. We're just over here torturing you. So I'm doing a little trim as I go for this side because it gets really bulky. But we're going to move to, so before I was going to the right, so now we're going to move to the left. Is that right, you guys? Let's see. I was moving this way, moving to the right. So this time we're going to move to the left. Stop me if I'm wrong, guys. Stop me in my directional challenged self here if I'm wrong. Sally said, yes, ma'am. Yes. Thanks, you guys. Let me back up. Patty said, Tammy, do you just substitute the regular flour for gluten-free? I need a good gluten-free chocolate chip cookie recipe, and I like a crispy cookie. You are welcome, Maritza. Hi, Marianne. Shannon said, thank you, OGs. I will definitely check all the suggestions out. Hey, Tony. Sally said, I get my left surgery next week. Yay, I'm so excited to get to see you again. Good luck to you, Sally. I'm sure everything will go great. Tammy said, I just always get several patterns cut and ready. It is so nice to have grab and go. There are some weeks where I'm really prepared. Last week was one of them. I felt pretty prepared because I knew I was doing a couple of the So Sweets. I just sort of knew ahead of time what I was going to work on. And so I had them ready. And it was nice for the whole week because I just didn't have to worry about what I was going to do. And it makes a difference. But it's not like that for me all the time. Sometimes I'm scrambling. Diane said, batik has a high thread count than normal cotton fabric. It's true that it's made using wax, but the wax is boiled out, so very little remains in the fabric, if any. Yes, scripture. I realized it as I started reading. At first I thought you were singing, and then I realized. Sally said, yes. Oh, I did see that one. Yes, go the opposite way. Christy said, opposite way. Christina said, I made peanut butter maple this weekend for my husband's family. Husband says they are now his favorite. Peanut butter maple cookies, Christina? Oh my gosh. Anything peanut butter. Yum. Donna, I hope you have an awesome rest of your night. Beth said, go left, young lady, go left. Tammy said, yes, I use gluten-free Pillsbury or King Arthur usually. Nancy T said, it's okay, my hubby is always having something that I'm not supposed to. I'm used to the torture. I will endure. You are strong. Robbie said, exit stage left. I'll be doing the recorded tutorial being like, which way do I go, guys? I don't have a chat to tell me which way to go. Becky said, hubby said, sing a song was on the Sesame Street disco album. So you just told me two things, because I didn't know that Sesame Street had an album. I didn't know they had a disco album. Tammy said, I like oatmeal scotchies. What's a scotchie? Christina said they make a soft yet sweeter peanut butter cookie. They have peanut butter chips in them also and maple syrup. That sounds amazing. Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. Sally said, thank you, Stacy, and I'm sure it will all work out. I am sure it will too, Sally. And you'll be seeing like new. That'll be so amazing. I miss my eyesight. My good eyesight. Kat said, Becky, who would have thought that was on a disco anything? Tammy said, they're oatmeal cookies with butterscotch chips. Oh, that sounds so good. You guys, I'm dying. I'm going to have to go to the store to get cookies. Because I know I'm not going to feel like baking anything when I get done on here. I'm going to have to go to the store and get some cookies. I've already been craving them. Now I'm like, now it's bad. Sally said, yes and yay. Kat said, my favorite cookies are Lorna Doone shortbread. Is Lorna Doone a brand? I do like shortbread. Yeah, Nancy K said, maybe we need a recipe exchange day. I know, right? We're going to be starting a second channel here. Kat said, I love Irish shortbread cookies too. Robbie said, I need cookies. We all need cookies now. We all need cookies. I have been not eating a lot of sweets in the last few months. And, I mean, it's been good. But it's like occasionally I need that. I need that fix. Christy said, I love Lorna Doones. Am I saying that name right? Christina said, Mega Stuffed Oreos are my favorite, and then Keebler Fudge Stripe. Oh man, the Keebler Fudge Stripes used to be my absolute favorite when I was younger. Robin said, I love, love, love homemade cookies. I know, there's just pretty much nothing better. Beth said snickerdoodles for me. Snickerdoodles are good. Kat said, well, I think they're by Nabisco. They're called Lorna Doone. Okay, I gotcha. With all the different food brands, it's like really there's only like 7. But there's so many names. It breaks down into so many names. But if you followed the tree up, it's like there's like 7 main brands, I think. Sally said, I'm on a seafood diet. I eat. Robin said, yes, recipes, please. Nancy T said we could put a short recipe on fabric and make a cube with it. That would be so cute. Hang like, so you know what? We have a couple of baking themed patterns. I can't remember if they're here on YouTube or if they're in the artist collection as a paid pattern. We might have a mixture, but you could totally put a recipe. You could like make like the quilty pattern on one side, the fabric pattern on one side, and then turn it over and do the recipe on the other. Or you know, like with the photo cube where you have the corners that you can tuck a picture in, you could tuck in a recipe. That'd be cute too. What a great idea. That'd be such a cute Christmas gift. Shan said, I have too many allergies to have store-bought anything. I make from scratch and I eat mostly carnivore and keto. Shan, I've been trying to do that more. I've been eating mostly from my garden for a couple of months now. And I just add in like a meat or something, and it's been great. Like I feel better. I've lost a bunch of weight. It's been great. But I do have to say that I get a sweet, like a sugar, craving every so often, and I will follow that craving sometimes when necessary. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. I'm like, I forgot a color, but that's okay. We'll just do it last. I forgot the pink. At least I didn't miss the spot where it goes. I did forget to trim right here, though. Christy said, yes, Nabisco, they are a shortbread cookie best dipped in milk. Maritza said, Lorna Doone shortbread cookies are my favorite also. My husband and grandson don't care for them. Awesome, more for me. Tammy said, yes. Whoops. Lorna Doones were the only cookies I would eat when I was little. Walker's shortbread has gluten-free, though. I'm so glad you guys can't hear that lawnmower because it is not quiet. Nancy K said, I make German chocolate thumbprint cookies usually for Christmas. Yum. Shan said, recipe on a cube. That's an awesome idea. I think so too. That would make a great gift. Kimberly said, my mom makes oatmeal cranberry white chocolate cookies. Yum. I always tell her they're my favorite breakfast cookie. That does sound like a good breakfast cookie. Wow. Tammy said, oh, we could do a secret Santa with a recipe ornament. Yes, you could. That's so cute. Patty said, I ordered a great cookie off of Amazon. It's called Nutella biscuits. They're awesome. Is that Nutella or Nutella? I've seen that. I've never had that before, but I've seen it. Kat said, okay, Kat, I don't know if I can pronounce that. Hamantashen? Cookies from Vermont Country Store are super awesome, and their Irish shortbread is ABC delicious. Tony said, I've been making cookies out of cake mixes. My grandsons love them. That's interesting. Peggy said, I make a batch of cookie dough, roll it into logs, refrigerate it for a bit, and then cut it into discs. Freeze them, and then you can take them out a few at a time and bake them whenever you have a cookie emergency. That's such a good idea. Cookie emergency. I love that. Christina said, if you crave it enough, it means your body needs it, but in small amounts. That makes sense. Your body's telling you. But see, my body will tell me that I need it in large amounts. Christy said there are some really good sugar-free chocolates out now, and I use sauces from G. Hughes, sugar-free. Shan said, my downfall is my baked goods and darn potato chips. Sometimes the gut rot is worth it. I can get into some potato chips too sometimes when you're having that like salty craving. There was a while where I was eating ice cream way too much, and I stopped doing that, and I substituted in vanilla Greek yogurt at night with granola. And I, like, most of the time will use chocolate granola, and it's not exactly the healthiest, but it's better. And now I almost don't even crave the ice cream. Like, I really look forward to the yogurt at night with my granola. It's so good. And it gives me like the crunchy thing too with the granola in there. So I've gotten used to it. Every once in a while, I'll sneak in my peanut butter chocolate Haagen-Dazs that I love. It's my favorite ice cream. Peanut butter chocolate. Tammy said, my junk food weakness is Cheetos, but I can't eat them while ornamenting, so I've lost a lot of weight since I found you. That's amazing. You're welcome. That's true. You could never eat Cheetos while you're doing a craft like this. You would ruin your fabrics. Kimberly said, I wouldn't hear that lawnmower over the sound of my stomach growling anyway. That's funny. Kat said, I like to make pumpkin craisin cookies for Thanksgiving. That sounds good. Craisins are good. Tammy said, I always say it like Nutella. That's what I was thinking. Patty said Nutella. It's a chocolate spread. You can find it in the supermarket. I've seen that spread before. Sally said, Stacy Ann, you have to try the Nutella on celery sticks. Yum. Okay, I'll try that. Bonnie said, I watch only. I forgot to check the poll. So we're at 54% of just watch and yap. And 43% at both. 4% I pin along. So the 4% that pin along, yeah, that's like, I guess because of the way I did the poll, 4% pinning along means I always pin along. But 43% of you do both. Oops. Kat said years or eons ago, Libby's had a pumpkin cookie recipe on their labels, and I added craisin to make it my own. They come out really good. That sounds good. And I like pumpkin too. There's really not a whole lot I don't like. Robin said, LOL, Tammy. Judy said, you must try Nutella. Okay. Peggy said, do you make your own chocolate granola or do you buy it? I do buy it. I don't know how to make granola. I guess it's probably, like, thinking about it's probably not that hard, right? But I've never tried. I buy, the granola that I have landed on is the Purely Elizabeth, which is so stupidly expensive. And I only get it when it's buy one, get one free. And then I'll stock up and I'll buy a few bags of it. Then it's only like $4 a bag, but it's like $8 a bag if you get it on regular price. But it is so good. It is so good. And there's a few of the flavors that are very good, but my favorite is the chocolate sea salt. And it's yum, yum, yum. Sherry said, my mom used to make cookie dough and roll it into a log, wrap it in freezer paper, and freeze them. When we wanted cookies, she would slice them and bake. That kind of reminds me of, like, you can buy the rolls with the cookies that you peel off, and it would be much better to do it that way. Make your own and do it that way. Tony said, I haven't been on here long. You OGs are making me hungry. I know. My stomach is I'm actually feeling the rumble. Phil said, my guilty pleasure is Fritos. I bought 9-ounce bag yesterday, and we won't discuss how low the bag is right now. Fritos are good. I don't like how my center is bubbling. Let's tuck this down here a little bit. That's better. Sometimes you have to finagle it a little bit. Monica would, in her videos, would always say, sometimes you have to show it who's boss. And she's right. Sometimes you just have to show that fabric who's boss. Shan said, Cheetos, the color and smudges never come out of fabric. It sounds like you're speaking from experience, Shan. Rebecca said, I make an eggnog cookie at Christmas. People who don't like eggnog love the cookies. I could see that because I actually like the flavor of eggnog, but sometimes I'm a little weirded out by it anyway, even though I like it. But sometimes I do feel a little weirded out by it. Peggy said Nutella is awesome on croissants. I can't have it in the house, though. I may or may not have eaten it out of the jar with a spoon. Tammy said, I despise Nutella. My kids love it. I don't like a lot of chocolate, though. Simply Elizabeth is expensive because it's certified gluten-free. Yeah, it has all the badges on it. It's like vegan and gluten-free and all the things, and I get it because that stuff's expensive to do all that. It's worth it, though. It's worth it. If I'm desperate, I'll even get it when it's not on sale, but I try my best to really stock up when it's on sale. Robin said, what's the brand of the granola? It's the Simply Elizabeth. Is it Simply Elizabeth or Purely Elizabeth? It's one of those two. I can't remember which one. I always get confused because there's also the orange juice that has a similar name like that, like Simply or Purely or something. Kat said, Rebecca, eggnog cookies sound ABC delicious. I like ABC delicious, Kat. That's cute. Tammy said, my son just said just use all orange fabric if you're eating Cheetos. That's funny. Shan said, can't stand Cheetos. My kids love them. Had to embroider over so many stains. You know what? I don't like the puffy Cheetos that much, but I do like the crunchier ones. You know which ones I'm talking about? Judy said, I don't allow myself to have Nutella in the house. I eat it out of the jar with a spoon also. Shan said, use eggnog in snickerdoodle recipe. So good. Oh, wow. You use eggnog in snickerdoodles? Shan said, eggnog, a snickerdoodle recipe for pumpkin pie crust. You guys, it's like we're just entering summer and we're discussing Christmas and fall right now. Thanksgiving and Christmas. Robbie said, I like the crunchier ones as well. Yeah, those ones I can put down some of those. I have to get a drink of water. Diane started to type a comment, but I think it got cut off. I'll wait to see what else you add to that, Diane. Tammy said, I like eggnog buttercream on gingerbread cake. Oh, yum. Gingerbread cake? No timeline on pumpkin pie, Shan said. So true. Kimberly said, I just finished my first ornament since my auntie passed. So pinning along and listening to the chatter was just like FaceTiming with her. Aw, Kimberly. I did a basic star in a daisy fabric. Did you use some of the fabric that you had gotten from her, Kimberly? Diane said, my grandsons got addicted to Nutella while living in Germany. Oh, that was the rest of your comment. Okay, I'm glad that you typed that in. I saw up above where I got part of your comment. Kat said, we were all talking about delicious cookies, and here I am eating broccoli and potato pierogies. I think I want cookies. You're doing the right thing, Kat. Be strong. Robbie said, that sounds pretty, Kimberly. Christina said, sometimes if I have leftover buttercream icing from a cake, I'll make chocolate chip cookies and pipe the extra icing on them. So yummy. Oh, that does sound good. Kimberly said, I did use inherited fabric and embellishments. That's awesome, Kimberly. Tracy said, I bet it's beautiful, Kimberly. Tammy said, I miss pierogies. So are you gluten-free, Tammy? Like completely? Is it you or someone in your family? Carol said, oh, I want the progress. I want the progress? Am I reading that wrong? Robbie said the homemade ones are the best. Oh, the pierogies. Okay. Yeah, the pierogies sounds good. I wasn't sure if you were saying, like, I like the progress. I wasn't sure where you were going, and I was like, I think I'm reading that wrong. Shannon said, my girls love extra cream cheese icing on waffles. Ooh, that sounds good. Carol said, spell check. I know, right? Can't live with it, can't live without it. Cynthia said, we have a bunch of crunchy cheesies in Ontario, like Cheetos, but bigger. Hawkins is the brand, so addictive. Georgianne said, I can smell cookies, and I am at the church office. I volunteer on Wednesday afternoons. Peggy said, Kat, since you were so healthy with dinner, you get to have cookies for dessert. Yeah, there you go. You guys, I can't even hardly keep up with this chat about cookies. This conversation got you going. Back up. Brenda said 30 years I had to bake pumpkin pie at least one a month for DH. What does DH stand for? Robbie said, yeah, the pierogies, I'm laughing. I was like, I knew I was reading that wrong. Tammy said, my kids and I have celiac. Okay, my hubby was non-celiac intolerant, so we are all gluten-free. I gotcha. Yes, celiac is serious business. There's a lot of people who do gluten-free just because they want to, but if you are celiac, you can't even mess with it. Can't even take a chance. Cindy said both, I think in regards to the poll, right? Patty said, I make gluten-free pierogies because my daughter has celiac and lives with us. Everything that I make now is gluten-free. Gluten-free pierogies is a labor of love, I bet. Lorette said, my daughter makes gluten-free pierogies and they're wonderful. Kat said, Peggy, I agree. Tracy said, I'm sitting here working and giggling along, hearing all the delicious cookies being discussed. Shan said, potato, cottage cheese, fresh dill pierogies, make them all the time. Ugh, I almost fainted. That sounds so good. Carol said, and yes, I do love your progress too. Thanks, Carol. Tammy said, the 2 new rose bundles, Friday's email, are beautiful for this pattern. DH is dear husband. That is so funny. And then I see darling husband, dear husband. I've always wondered what that meant. I didn't know that. Dear husband. So if it's like D, it's like darling or dear daughter and all that. Is that what that is? Robbie said potato and cheese or cottage cheese. That sounds so good. I was planning to do like pasta tonight because I have a bunch of tomatoes and stuff, and I was just gonna cook them down and do a sauce. But I don't know. I'm kind of like, now I'm craving something heavier like pierogies. Tammy said we have a dedicated gluten-free bakery a half an hour away that makes fresh donuts on Saturday morning. That's awesome, Tammy. Cynthia said that ornament looks great. We have Pride Month up here, June, a nod to all the various peoples of this world, all rainbow colors. Shan said the ornament looks great in rainbow. I love rainbow colors, for sure. Robin said, I think we will all be running to the kitchen after this pinning. I know. You're 100% right. Some of you probably already have run to the kitchen. Tammy said, yes, DD equals dear daughter, dear son, DS, dear son, MIL, mother-in-law. I knew mother-in-law. Maybe that one seemed obvious to me or something. But I didn't know the other ones. Robbie said it's very pretty. Thank you, Robbie. Hey, Judy. Judy said, I have the best peanut butter cookie recipe. 1 cup sugar, 1 cup peanut butter, 1 teaspoon vanilla, and 1 egg. Roll into balls in sugar, crisscross, and bake at 349 degrees. 349, not 350, for 8 minutes, and watch to make sure they don't burn. Quick, someone screenshot that. Kathy said, hello, Stacey Ann and everyone. Hi, Kathy. Yeah, Cindy. Cindy said you could give us a heads up in the morning as to what you're making in the afternoon. I could if I was that far planned ahead. And you know what? When my team and I were kind of discussing if we should drop the lives down to 3 or 4 days a week, we were thinking that maybe we should, if we did that, we plan ahead a lot better and like actually like schedule them and say what we're going to make. I think it would be easier to do that if we were only doing 3 days a week. Doing it 5 days a week, I knew I couldn't like commit too much to certain times and to certain things that I'm going to make, or it would be too hard to keep up with. And so that's why we've been all over the place, and I haven't been good at letting you guys know ahead of time what I'm going to make. But we're playing around with the idea because I do think it would be nice if you guys knew ahead of time what time and what I was working on. Totally agree with that, Cindy. Kat said, a few years ago, I started calling hubby Boo. I don't know why. He walks in the room. I say, hi, Boo, what you doing? No rhyme or reason. Don't know how or why it even started. Boo is cute. That's a cute pet name. I think I told you guys a while back. I don't remember. Maybe I think I did. My dad always called my mom Beano, which nobody knew why. Like, none of us kids knew why he called her Beano, and that stuck for like ever and ever. And when we were older, my mom told us it's because when they got married, she had a big old pregnant belly, and they got married, and she had a t-shirt that said Bambino on it. So he called her Beano for the rest of his life. Georgianne said, I saw a Facebook video making a 1-minute chocolate chip cookie in the microwave. I'm going to have to try it now. Oh, did you just look that up now and find that? Because it's like we're all like, we need cookies now. Right now. Cookie emergency. It has to take 1 minute or less. Kathy said, very pretty ornament. Thank you, Kathy. All right. The template worked great. I wish I would have went a little smaller on this side for this because of the center and the white in the center, but it's okay. We're going to fix that with a little rainbow charm. You know what I forgot to do, you guys? I forgot to cut a band. I went down to the shop and got all these fabrics, and I don't have them here. We got something for finishing Friday. I will do, instead of doing the bow and the band right now, I'll do the embellishments, and you guys, I'm going to have to cut a band at a different time and finish this at a different time. I cannot believe I did that. I'm like, is there any chance I have one of these here? I don't think I do. And if I did, I have no idea where it is. Yeah. Spacey Stacy strikes again. That's okay. We will go ahead and do our embellishments, and we will finish this at a later time. And I think what I would like to do is do some crystals at the points, because I think I have the right colors. Let's see. We have red. Let me move all these guys. Carol said everyone left the chat. Oh, it jumped on me. We're all eating in the kitchen. I know, right? Yes, 3:50, Judy said. I read that and I was like, but then I was like, that's a pretty specific time. I mean, temperature. Kathy said, no, no, no. Brenda said, yes, it's almost dinner time for me. Kathy said, I'm making those cookies tonight. Thanks, Carol. Lorette said, don't cut back on the daily pinning if you're able. It's the highlight of my day. Thank you for saying that, Lorette. Tammy said we used to have an oven that the 0 didn't work, so we always had to set it for 351 or 349 if it was 350. We just got a good laugh. Kat said, oh, that's so cute. Cynthia said, I don't care what you make. I love sitting down and watching you. Aw, Cynthia, thank you. Sally said, oh, that's cute and funny, Beano. Robbie said, I feel the same way. I'm doing a practice ornament today. Next one will be a patriotic heart. Kat said, better than when my SIL called her daughter, so SIL is sister-in-law, called her daughter Bean. That was because she was a gassy little girl. Bean is a cute name, though. That's a cute way to turn that around. Nancy K said, highlight of my day too, Lorette. Thank you, Nancy. Kat said, and then she bought her baby Beans doll to represent. Lorette said, Bean was what we called my granddaughter when she was in my daughter's tummy. The name stuck for quite a while. They do look like a little bean when they're in the belly, don't they? Robbie said, pizza night. Pizza's good. Still haven't had pizza in a while, you guys. Shan said, definitely highlight of my day too. So what you guys are saying is you would rather it be unplanned but be every day rather than us drop to 3 days a week and plan it better. Is that what I'm hearing here? Brenda said, I want to make this ornament for my grandson with autism. He turns 20 next month. That's a good idea, Brenda. Diane said, got a phone call, need to go. Tis was great. Thanks, Diane. Have a good rest of your night. Tammy said, I needed peaceful pinning today. Crazy people calling all day. I'm glad we could have, I was going to say I'm glad we could give you a moment of sanity. I'm not so sure it's sanity. But I'm glad we could help. Jan said, highlight of my day too. Thank you, Jan. You guys, thank you for saying this. Robin said, I love that you created this ornament pattern with us. Thanks, Robin. You know, I don't want to take credit. This did start with Tanya, and she had originally done the one that had like the triangles on the outer layer normal as not part of the swirl, and it did evolve into this, but you guys have helped me so much with putting together like the details of it and the variations of it. So it's been really, really fun doing this as a live. It's funny how it's evolved, and it's been a few weeks, but I feel like it's made it so much more fun. Okay, Nancy K said yes. Rebecca said yes. Sherry said yes. Jan said yes. Keep it unplanned and every day. Sally said yes. Every day is fun. Yes, 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 Lorette said. Carol said indeed. Brenda said every day if possible. Christy said you can plan it if you like, but daily, please. Tracy said that's a beautiful idea, Miss Brenda. I was thinking something similar. My nephew is nonverbal and on the spectrum. It is a really beautiful idea. Judy said yes. Shan said, yeah, just wing it, unplanned. Just do whatever makes your heart happy. Thanks, Shan. Georgianne, yes, you just keep doing what you do best. You guys are so nice. Tammy said, my daughter is Chili Bean to this day. When I named her, The ice machine went off as I was telling the nurse Genevieve. Chili bean. That's adorable. Kathy said, yep, that's what you're hearing. Robbie said, yes. Denise said, yes, every day. I so look forward to this. Nancy T said, yes, the highlight of my day. Kat said, might not be sanity, but it was cookie-licious tonight. Yeah, it was. That's funny, referencing back to the Cookie Monster on Sesame. Let's bring it full circle back to Sesame Street, guys. I think that's what started the whole thing. Tracy said, I'm always working when y'all are on, but I do enjoy yapping a little when I can. I usually make my ornaments on the weekends when I can. Totally get that, Tracy. You know what I'm worried about? The yellow. I do have this like lime-ish color that might not look so green if I put it on that part. We'll try that. I have an overflowing green. Ooh, I have this lighter blue. I have a darker blue. Do we have purple? Do we have a purple? Yes, we have a purple. You guys, we might be able to make this work. Okay. Let's give this a shot. It could be horrible. It could be cute. We'll see. I'm going to put them on the points. Kathy said, I always feel better after peaceful pinning. Thank you for all you do, Stacy. And Kathy, thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate that so much. Jean said, yes, every day, please. Kimberly said, definitely my highlight. Phil said, every day is great, but if you could use a break, that's okay too. Thanks, Phil. I know I do have to miss this coming Friday, unfortunately. But yeah, let's play with this. We'll definitely play with this. There might be days here and there that we have to miss, but this might be too green, guys. This could be the one that throws it off. Ugh. Maybe we can cheat a little bit and do like an AB crystal. That would at least look better than the green. This even looks like it has a little touch of yellow in it. Might not be perfect, but we'll try that. We'll see what it looks like when we get all of them on here. I wasn't liking that greenish shade. I was hoping it would bring out the yellow when I put it next to the yellow, but it just did not. I'm also wondering if I should move these from the points to the little inside, because I don't think I like it on the points. Brenda said, yes, my grandson is nonverbal, legally blind, and cerebral palsy along with autism. Brenda, if you end up making one like that, please share with us. Denise said, sure hope you can keep the 5 days a week. I so look forward to seeing you, and I miss you when you're not here. You guys, I honestly, you guys telling me all this means a lot, and I didn't know that you felt that strongly about it, so thank you. Mary Lou said, my husband's nicknamed me Chigger. I thought it was cute until I found out a chigger is a nasty little bug, but he said it's a bug that sticks to you and never wants to let go. I know. We have those here. Beverly said, gotta run. Hope to see you all tomorrow. We will see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Robin said, I get upset when I have to miss a pinning. Barbara said, I love having the group every day. I live alone and it helps make my day. What do you guys think? Do you like it on the points, or should I try putting it in the... Let me do this side on the inside and you guys can tell me what you think. Robin said the crystals help fill in the center. Carol said this may be a bad idea and a lot of work, but maybe a band using all the colors of the ornament. Carol, that thought just flickered across my brain a few minutes ago, and I was like, I don't know if I have that in me right now. But maybe that would work. Maybe that would work. There is a way to, you could do like a band. So what I've done before is, I'm trying to remember exactly how I did it. It's been a while. I did something like where I kind of started a band like this with a short piece. Let me make sure I'm in the camera here. Like that. And then I'd have to cut these a little shorter because they're too long. And then did another section like that. And you just kind of keep going around. And you know what? That would probably look better than a regular solid color band. Maybe we will do that. I don't know that I'm going to do that today since we've already been on for an hour and a half. Let's see where we are at the end of the embellishments. We might save that for finishing Friday. Let's see. Robbie said you could move them to the second layer. Yeah, maybe. Doesn't it seem like a lot on the points? It feels like a lot, especially if I wanted to do that guy in the center. I don't know. It might not be the worst. Let me do a couple other experimental things on this side, and we can kind of decide what we want to do. So Robbie was saying moving them here, and that could add some sparkle, but they won't stand out as much. The other idea that I was thinking was putting them up in here. The only problem with that is that they're not like centered over the matching piece. This might not have quite the same impact. Martha said, I totally enjoy watching whenever I can, and whenever you can be here, please take the time that you need. I've got lots of catching up to do with your earlier videos anyway. Thank you for that. Sally said, I love the different color crystals and with the rainbow charm. Beautiful. Robbie said, it's awesome knowing that you've had such a profound effect on us and we can come together and chat. It's definitely been so awesome. I know I probably sound like a broken record because I've said this quite a few times, but starting to do these lives, I didn't really know what to expect, and it has been so much different and better than I ever expected. Shan said, I honestly feel bad if I miss a live, but I do put on the live playlist and I just let it play as I putter around the house. I love that. I'm not loving it up in the corners as much. Even though I like the placement of it, I don't like the impact next to the matching color as much. So there's that. Let me move this out of the way because I don't like that. We'll do the AB. Kat said, oh, sorry, I missed a few. Patty said, a rainbow striped fabric would be a great band. Yeah, it would. Kat said, there must be a bias tape or a blanket binding out there that fades into the matching rainbow colors or a wide ribbon. I'm sure there is. Sally said, oh, that would be a cool band. Carol said, yep, that's it. That's what I did with the Trinity. No, yes, you're right, Carol. That is, I've seen people do that with the Trinity ornament. That's such a good idea. Shan said, yeah, the rainbow band, even though it's a little bit more work. That would definitely go with the vibe a lot better, the rainbow band. Kathy said that band would be so much fun to make. Thanks for the idea. Carol said, I'm a point girl. Okay, Carol's a point girl. I think I am too compared to this at least. I don't like that as much. It just doesn't have the same impact. Yeah. This is better. I'm glad I didn't go any smaller than in the center because it would have been too close in the middle. You know, I'm almost second guessing what I just said, like the second it was coming out of my mouth. It would have been too small if I was definitely using the charm in the middle, but I'm almost wondering if making the center smaller and having the beads closer together in the middle would have been a really good centerpiece on its own. You know, without having the charm. Something else to think about. If these were closer together, I think it would have made a really nice like focal point, actually. Phil said, you're a quilter now. Measure how long you need the band to be, divide by the number of colors, and cut and sew the pieces together. There you go, Phil. That would be good practice sewing. That's such a good idea. Kat said, how about a crystal of matching on each point? As CJ says, never too much bling. You mean like this, Kat? Like what I did on this side? I was afraid it was too much, but I do like it much, much better than this side. Shan said, you said it before and I will say it again. You and the ladies on your team are doing powerful things here. Thank you, Shan. That means so much to me. The dog liked it too. I just heard a yip. Nancy said you can put a few beads towards the center and leave out the rainbow charm using the beads as the center charm. That's funny. That's you're like, we're on the same wavelength, I think, with what I was just saying a second ago, and I didn't even think about that, like trying to pull them out just a touch. Let's try. I'll try it with this side because I don't like this side. This poor white fabric is going to be all poked up. I wish I had a yellow bead. Tammy said, I like them on the points. It was much better on the points than between them, for sure. Gotta get this circle even. That is not even. Putting beads and embellishments on is really helps bring out where you are not, where you didn't get things absolutely perfect. I gotta say, I think I still like this side better. I think this side is probably the winner as far as what we've done so far. Maybe even without the little rainbow charm in the middle, even on this side. So if these, I think that what would have been perfect is to bring in all these points. Instead of using this circle, I should have used the smaller circle, or even somewhere in between. And my white center have been smaller, and then these beads on the points. I think that probably would have been the best option here. But hey, that's why we experiment, right? I'm going to go for points. Tammy said, I like them on the points. Christina said, if I miss, I try to watch the replay so that I don't miss out, even if it's while relaxing in the bathtub or a massage chair. It's funny because with these lives, it has become kind of an ongoing conversation, you know, where it's like, maybe we go to talk about something and it's a continuation of a different live. So if you miss one, you might miss part of the conversation. Jan said, or Christina said, I like the points better. Lorette said, I like the beads on the points. Jan said, I vote for on the points. The rainbow charm could hang from the bow. Yes, it could. Totally. Robbie said, yes, it would. Christy said, what if you made lines with the beads into the center? I was kind of thinking that, but I don't know. That might be a lot. Kind of drawing like its own little star coming in. I'm not sure. I feel like that might be a lot. As an example, if it was like 3 of each color maybe, but we would still need something in the dead center to bring it all together. Maybe a clear bead or something. Let's see, this, I don't think this is going to work, but since we've already put holes all in this, can't really do too much damage now at this point. Oh boy, it's funny how like getting them like even is way harder than you would think. I think this is going to be way too much. It's starting to look like a video game. Tracy said, I like the points. Kat said, yeah, but on every point, so that 3 crystals per color. Oh, I see what you're saying. So, like, drawing out like that. Kat, that would definitely be some bling. Christina said, or a cluster of rainbow sequins. They're easier to color match than the crystals sometimes. Yeah, sequins would be pretty too. Patty said, Riley Blake has a rainbow striped fabric. Stripes C495-Rainbow by Riley Blake Designs. I'm not digging this one so much. But maybe the center bead could stay. Let me see. This poor side. This was a very big experiment on this one. Even this side has a whole bunch of holes. We might have to do a new version of this, you guys, with the points a little closer together. But this, I think this is pretty. It also, don't forget, we have a bow to add. So a bow is going to add a lot. And then, of course, finishing the band and all that. That will add a lot, I think, to it. It's got potential, you guys. A little tweaking and we have some potential, I think. Kat said, or like on the template, 3 crystals from the center out to each color like the dots on the paper. Yes, that's what I had just done. I know I'm behind in the comments. Robbie said points. Patty said, I like the crystals on the points. Carol said, whoops. We would love you to be here 24/7. But we do realize that you have a life and need to recharge from ornamenting every once in a while. That would, 24/7 would definitely be a lot. There's people that do like 24-hour live streams. That's crazy, right? Shan said, call it the Infinity Swirl. The options are limitless on this design. Shan, that's cute. I like that. I didn't think of that, but you're right. There are so many options on this design. Hi, Louise. Louise said, jumping on late. Love all the colors. Shan said, oh, wait, they're limitless on every pattern. That's true. This one does seem extra limitless. Tracy said, oh, Shan, that's perfect. Hi, Madeline. Madeline said, I just finished the rosebud ornament. Ripped it out once, and I did it over in just 2 colors. 3 colors was too much for my brain to handle. Madeline, did you do the, on the rosebud, did you do the newer version? We have a video on that workshop page with a newer video. Unfortunately, the ebook is still the old way, but the video that is like somewhere on the page, I can't remember if it's at the top or the bottom, has the newer way of doing it, and it does help. It makes it a lot easier to follow along. The rosebud is so beautiful, but the original way is pretty advanced. Martha said, I like the pointy points. Brenda said, on the points win. Jan said, the daily lives are our daily virtual coffee clatch. Clatch? I'm not sure if I'm reading that right, but I agree. Nancy said, on the points. Robbie said, kaleidoscope. Yeah, I did have a, what, are you talking about when I was doing the whole, it did have a kaleidoscope effect. Jupiter Lady said, a bead cap in the middle with crystals around the cap. That could work with the right bead cap, but what is the right bead cap? That's the thing, because I don't want to do like gold or silver here. I guess silver could be okay. I'm looking at what I have here to see if there's anything else. It's like I almost don't want to take away with a metal color. It needs to be color. Christy said, I agree, the lines of beads is too much. Robbie said, it's pretty. Robin said, I like it. Martha said, totally cute, love it. Patty said, shoot some steam from an iron. Oh, that's a good idea. On the pinholes and the fabric will close up. Thank you for that, Patty. Phil said you have a sun charm for the center. I don't have a charm, but you know what we did have? I don't know if I have them up here. Let me look. We did have these little clay. Hang on a second. Let me see. Do I have them? This might be too cutesy, but I see where you're going. This might not be the right one, but we had these little clay faces that are like a sun and cloud. They're too tiny. Let me get one that's a little bit bigger. They're like these little teeny clay slices. Tanya had the cutest little sun face on one of her ornaments, and I do not know where she got it. And she's in Canada. So who knows? We need something like that, but slightly bigger. Something like that, but slightly bigger would be really cute, Phil. Tracy said, I think it's lovely, especially if you are testing out ideas. I feel like a lot of times that's what we're doing here. Martha said, exactly, Patty was thinking the same. Kat said, you know the little yellow dimensional flower in the shop? That might look good in the center. I do know what you're talking about. Are you talking about this? The little sequin? Is that what you are talking about, Kat? Or are you talking about the big crochet flower? Which the crochet flower would be too big, I think. Because I think that would take up the whole. So if this is what you're talking about, maybe. It's not bad. It's better than the little yellow face because he's too small. Kathy said, I watch a groomer on YouTube who was 11 hours a day. Only off on Sunday. I don't know how she does it. So is she recording while she's working? Is that how she's doing that? Because that's a lot. Roseanne said, I am late. I'm late for a very important date. Tammy said, I think the 4-color rosebud is the easiest. With the rapid rosebud way, you can do anything, I think, and it's much easier. Peggy said, maybe wait to embellish after you do the band and the bow. Yeah, because sometimes that changes things. Kat said, or the dragonfly or the butterfly in the center. Patty said, I'm a quilter too. Tammy said, bronze. Bronze can be your rain cloud. Excuse me, sorry. My voice is like, okay, you've been talking long enough. Martha said, I hit my quilts with steam anytime I need to do the tighten up. That's such a good idea, you guys. Maybe that will save the day here. Shan said, have a great night, everyone. Stay together, stay safe. Construction workers are calling. Gotta go. You have a good night, Shan. Christina said, throw a 4-leaf clover in the middle. Make it a St. Patty's Day style ornament. I love that idea. I don't know if I have one here, but I know we have some in the shop. So that could be something that we could think about for a Finishing Friday idea too. We will definitely revisit this, you guys, for a finishing thing. Kat said no, but that would work. Which one are you talking about? Okay, Kat said, I'm talking about the one that looks like a ceramic. Oh, yes. I know which one you're talking about. It is like a little glass. It's like a ceramic. I think it is like a ceramic flower bead. I don't have those here, but I know which ones you're talking about now. Okay, I gotta go shopping tomorrow in the shop. Raindrops would be cute too, Roseanne said. That would be cute. Kathy said she's live. She has 2 moderators that help with the chat. That's unbelievable. Does she have a lot of followers? I wonder how many people watch for the whole time. Kat said, Christina, that's a good idea. Shan said, ornament looks beautiful. Thank you, Shan. Carol said, a neutral something in the center. It's like, yeah, you have to be careful because you don't want to deviate too much from the colors here. And it definitely has to be more neutral. Kat said, I'm looking over a 4-leaf clover that I overlooked before. In the shop. Oh, look, I just caught up to the comments. I was thinking I wasn't going to catch up. I'm thinking I need to, I think I need to shop in the shop tomorrow and find a few options and then bring this back to you guys and do some finishing up. We'll finish up that band just for fun. Just for fun. I don't love this. I don't love the bead in there. This definitely needs a little tweaking. But just to show you guys the band thing, I think what I'd want to do is have this, maybe these pieces start right where those triangles are centered. We'll see. The way that these triangles are sitting, I'm not sure if we would want each color to end. Yeah, I think that's where we want to end, right here in the center. Let me move this just a little bit. Move it up just a touch. Okay, and then I'll pin. Actually, I'll pin just a touch lower. Okay, and then we'll trim off a little bit of this excess. That's just more to peek out from underneath later, so I'm going to try to hide that a little bit. I should have went that way. Oh well. Oh well. So the biggest thing with this is trying to get each piece kind of even so that it stays consistent all the way around, and that you can also hide the color before it. Oh. I'm basically trying to keep my pins even with the center lines of each triangle. Okay, then you just bring it down. Bring it a little bit past where you know you're going to start your next piece. And guys, too, I think a trick here would be to try to make it get just a little skinnier towards the end, because you need to be able to hide the tail of each piece with the next piece. I'm not going to do the whole thing now, but I wanted to show you the gist of it. And I totally should have went that way, but it's too late for that. It might be working out okay as far as giving me a point to aim for with my pins, so maybe this is okay. Whoops. Oh, Kat said that's a song. Kathy said her moderators are on the entire time. They must take shifts. Brenda said, my dog says his dinner is late. See you all tomorrow. I know, I think my dogs are about to say the same. I heard a couple of rogue yips coming from that part of the house. So I have a feeling that they're saying the same thing. They're going to be ready to go outside. After we get done on our lives, typically is when I take them out back and let them run around and get all their energy out. Kathy said, I think she has 60,000 subscribers. Good for her. Madeline said, I love this design. Can't wait to get the template. I am going to try to get that available as soon as possible. You guys get the gist, right? I think that'll be pretty cool. Carol is a genius. Kat said, Christina's Clover comment got me singing that one. Yep, Carol said Kat's singing again. Carol said, I think the colored band will look amazing. So you can start with smaller, slightly shorter rectangles too for this, you guys, if you were planning it out so that you don't have all the waste, because I'm chopping off a piece off of each one here. But that's how it's done. I'm going to let this one rest for now because we've been on for quite a while and I know my dogs need to go outside, but that's what we'll finish up. And I'll work on some ideas for embellishing and maybe just like finishing it. It's like so close, but just something's not right. So we'll shop in the shop and come up with an idea to finish this at some point. Carol said, I think the color band will look amazing. It was a good idea, Carol. Kat said, you need a super mini Rainbow Bright figure to sit on top with the bow. I'm just kidding, but those who love Rainbow Bright might like it. I used to love Rainbow Bright. Peggy said, "Cat Rainbow Bright is a blast from the past." That they're coming back out with all that stuff again, you guys. There's some company, Abby was telling me about it, my daughter, that is like, they went and like purchased the rights to a bunch of those old like 80s toys and are re-releasing them. And Rainbow Bright is one of them. I saw some Rainbow Bright stuff in a Books A Million a while back. Nancy said, "The ornament is so pretty and the band will be gorgeous." Thanks, Nancy. Kat said, "That's looking good." Tammy said, "Posted mine on Facebook. There's so many ways to do these. I think this is the first one I've done with one color per segment." Are you talking about the Western Star, Tammy, or one of these? I'd like to see both, but I really want to see your Western Star that you were talking about. Beth said, "I need to go change the band on mine." Joyce said, "Hi, Stacy, just got home. Glad to be here with all the OGs." I'm glad you were able to catch at least the last couple minutes, Joyce. Christina said, "Love the swirl. Can't wait to make it and the tutorial." Thank you, Christina. Robin said, "Good night, all." Good night, Robin. I hope you have a good rest of your night. Christina said, "Care Bear with the rainbow on his tummy." Yes, that's another thing that I'm seeing all over the place again. Marge said, "Darn, just getting on. Been planting flowers all day." Marge, that's a great excuse. Peggy said, "Everything old is new again." I know, because all the old stuff is the best. That's why. Robbie said, "Have a good night, everyone." You too, Robbie. Carol said, "Thank you for giving us all a chance to express ourselves as well. Thank you for all you do." Of course, Carol. I love all the ideas. You guys keep me on track. Tammy said, "One of these. I'll find the picture and tag you for the Western Star." Okay, for sure. I will look forward to that, Tammy. Nancy said, "Have a great rest of your night, everyone." You too, Nancy. Patty said, didn't Toys R Us reopen? That I did not know. That would be amazing. I mean, I was amazed when it closed, but you just never know what's going on behind the scenes. But that was sad. All right, you guys. I will see you tomorrow. So tomorrow we're shifting gears. I'm going to do my scissors because I still haven't finished my scissors. For those of you guys who don't know what I'm talking about, may as well add to the chaos I've got going on around me, which you guys can't see. Here, let me show you. This is the chaos I have all around me right now. I've got a pile of scraps right here. I've got all these little buckets everywhere. Bowls, piles of fabric. We got chaos. But tomorrow I'm going to do the matching scissors for my 3 So Sweet ornaments that I've done so far. So that's my plan for tomorrow. I held off doing that today since Sarah had just done the scissors with you yesterday. But that's the plan for tomorrow. I am missing Friday, unfortunately, but Monday we'll come back and we'll continue with our swirl experimenting. And hopefully by then I will have at least the template available for you guys, if not the video tutorial as well. So yeah, Martha said, "Thank you for everything again. This is another treasure." Thank you, Martha. Kat said, "I heard they did, but I don't know where. Maybe they did like a one-off, possibly." Nancy said, "Thank you. You are so welcome. And thank you guys for watching and hanging out with me." Patty said, "Have a great night, OGs." You too, Patty. Kimberly said, "Bye all. Thanks for the fun." Joyce said, "I do a little of each, but mostly watch." Oh, Joyce is watching the replay. Okay. Joyce, you'll hear me say hi to you at the end. Carol said, "Mailbox." Oh, thank you, Carol. I will. I'm running right out there. Me and the dogs are going to run right out there. Rebecca said, "Have a good night and remember the thumbs up." Thank you, Rebecca. Carol, I will be getting back to you as soon as I check what's out there. And I will show tomorrow probably, I'm sure. Martha said, "I have a block of foam here. Is there a way to cut it nice without crumbs?" Without crumbs, the only way would be with something hot that you're basically melting the foam. So if you have like a hot knife, and I don't know how big your block of foam is, but if you had like a hot knife, and there's even foam cutters that are specifically for cutting through foam, that's how you can do it without crumbs. Otherwise, I would use something like a serrated knife, and because it'll work, but you will have some mess with that. But it works. It's just not going to be nice and neat. Tracy said, thank you so much for sharing the joy. Have a great night, everyone. You too, Tracy. Kat said, I found a I don't know if that's a typo or if that's a word that I don't know how to pronounce. And then a gold tissue lame fabric for my scissors. Oh, for your, okay. Are you going to be making the scissors with me tomorrow? Silver. Okay, thank you, Patty. I see that down there. I found a silver and then gold tissue lame. Okay, that's perfect. I'm actually going to, you guys, I'm staying on script with mine tomorrow, and I'm going to use this gray for my scissors. I don't think it's going to have the full effect that using like a metallic gold or silver would have, but that's what I'm going to do just so that I can stay on script with my fabrics here. I mean, I'm second guessing it because I'm like, it could still have the look if I went with like the gold maybe, but I don't know. You guys you'll know by tomorrow. I'll make up my mind and then I'll tell you tomorrow what I decided to go with. Martha said, I'll try some heat. Thank you. Can't wait for the scissors. Kat said, the silver and the gold tissue lame made the scissors look like tiny, or looks like the Ginger scissors that you use. Yeah, that would be really cute. That would be really cute. So like this. I'm trying to stay on script, but I do think that gold would be cute. Martha said, nice. I like the whole set look. Me too. That's kind of why I'm torn. Carol said, keep your set uniform. Nancy K said, they sell printed scissors at Hobby Lobby, so yours will be cute. Okay. I'll stick with that. And you know what? If it looks awful, if it's too busy, I could do another one with the gold, right? We have many lives to come, so all the ideas, there's not too many ideas. All right, you guys, I will see you tomorrow. I'm aiming for a little earlier tomorrow. I'm aiming for about 3 tomorrow. So I'm going to try to pre-schedule it, but otherwise look for me about 3 o'clock tomorrow. And yeah, have a good rest of your night, you guys. I'm looking forward to it tomorrow, and happy ornamenting, guys. Have a good night.